Not a bad spot, right? Definitely not a bad spot. That is the town of Vernazza in Cinque Terre, which means 5 towns in Italian. There are 5 towns connected by a hiking path. We're on the hiking path. Margot is already beating me. She's way down there. She's not going to be on this live. Maybe we'll try to catch her. But Vernazza is where we're stopping, and then we're going a little bit further into Corniglia. So, without further ado, why don't we walk a little bit and show you guys the sea over here. Let a nice man pass. Vernazza looking nice though. And you know, I was a little disappointed. It was sunny earlier. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't sunny when we started the hike. Actually, when we started, it was sunny, but then I was a little disappointed when the sun disappeared, but then I was happy because this is not an easy hike. I mean, we sweat and we get hot, and at the end of the day, I'm happy that we're here in April, where there is a chance of it being a little overcast, and those of you from California know what that natural air conditioner is like. Anyway, wanted to talk a little bit about Deebo Samuel because I see that blowing up on social media, so maybe we could talk about it as I walk, but no, I'll just talk about it right here. Listen, the 49ers have given out a record amount of positional contracts while Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been in charge. Jimmy Garoppolo for the quarterback position, Kyle Juszczyk for fullback, Trent Williams for tackle, Fred Warner for linebacker, and George Kittle for tight end. These are all positional record numbers that the 49ers have given out, so they're not cheap. They're willing to pay, and I think they're willing to pay Deebo Samuel as well. But the thing is, it's April. Again, it's April. Remember when George Kittle signed, it was like the eve of training camp. That's the soft deadline here for the financial security moving forward. Deebo Samuel doesn't want to step foot on a football field until he has that financial security, that 50, 60 million guaranteed. And that's what we really need to look at. I don't think he's going to set a positional record for APY, but that guaranteed money, that security blanket, the deadline to get that is before the next time he steps foot onto a football field. Now, maybe that's OTAs. George Kittle did his deal after OTAs, but maybe that's training camp. I don't know. They're going to be temporary, kind of fungible deadlines moving forward. The bottom line is that it's April and we're not yet at one of those deadlines. So lose me with all this social media stuff. I know Deebo Samuel likes his attention. I think some of it has to do with that. But this is, just contractual realities. He might not be happy with the speed of negotiations, but at this point, that's just how negotiations work. And the 49ers need to get one done, and Deebo needs to get one done before he next steps on a field. And it's not worth freaking out about in April. Instead, we can enjoy this type of view, and we could start hiking down into Vernazza. So if you guys have any questions, hopefully I don't tear my ACL, knock on wood. Got to do that. You don't want your 49ers reporter to also tear his ACL while hiking, but I'll answer questions while sharing this hike with you guys. So just give me the questions. I might see some, I might not see others, but I really wanted to share a cool part of this trip with you. And it's morning back in California, so I figured that what better spot than this, right? As we descend into the town of Vernazza, Italy, for those of you waking up. Good cell reception. Oh, there's Margot waiting down at the bottom. Why are 49ers fans so emotional? I don't know. Maybe it's because they've tasted the great success, right, with the Super Bowls, and then also the big time lows right after that. So they like that roller coaster, or they're used to that roller coaster. It's weird though. They seem to crave that drama, and especially the negative kind of drama, and I'm just not here for it. Would I guess that Deebo misses OTAs? Well, if he follows George Kittle's model, then he won't miss OTAs, because George Kittle was willing. Actually, there were no OTAs in that 2020 season, but the team did meet, right? So that wasn't probably the best comparison, just because George didn't have to risk his body in 2020 during the pandemic year. But he did obviously put in the time in the meeting room. That's a good question. We'll see. I mean, they could get a deal done before then, but I think that Deebo also wants to let DK Metcalf and AJ Brown go before him, so he can get a little bit more money. So we're going to continue on here. That's where we came from. And that's where we're going. We're getting gelato. Past some people. Oh boy. Well, today I'm not swimming in that. It's crashing over those rocks. People talking about draft stuff. Is Jalen Moore a real option at right guard? Sounds like he is. I know that Aaron Banks, I would call Aaron Banks the front runner at left guard for the 49ers right now. This is a cool shot through this barbed wire. Talk about a little juxtaposition. So I would say that Aaron Banks is your front runner at left guard based on the way that Kyle Shanahan is talking. And I would say that Jalen Moore's stock is probably rising. It was rising a lot quicker at the end of training camp last year when he won that swing tackle spot. But, then he lost the swing tackle spot. Then Tom Compton took it. But I think the 49ers have always looked at Jalen Moore as a guard first. And it's really possible that the 49ers drafted both Banks and Moore with the idea that they'd be left guard and right guard respectively in the future. I'm going to step over here on the side, flip it back to my face. You could see back into Vernazza as we're going down here. You can actually see the train tracks. It's really neat. The train connects the towns. So we took the train like 3 towns over, and now we hiked one. We're going to stop for gelato and wine in this one, and then we're going to shoot over to the next town after that. And I think that we're probably going to still hike one more before we get back on the train to rest a little bit. All right, a couple more questions, then we're wrapping it up as we come down into town here. And yeah, the 49ers like the progress that Aaron Banks has made physically. I mean, he was a little big, obviously, for the scheme. They needed him to be a little bit lighter on his feet. I think he's done some of that physical work, which has made the 49ers excited over the past year, but he's still unproven. And I'm still not sure if they've done enough on an offensive line. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm worried about that. If I'm a 49ers fan, I'm worried about the offensive line. It's cost them in the playoffs, and who knows if they've gotten better. At this point, they're banking a lot on Banks, pun intended. This is going to be the last shot that I leave you guys with. We'll sign off after this one. It's really neat because they've got all this like agriculture just baked into the hills. You could see the terraces up here. At some points where they have vineyards, they have like little roller coasters almost to take the grapes and then the lemons and the lemon trees.
There's a lemon tree right there.
And here Margot's pointing out a lemon tree. Yeah, there's a lemon tree. Beautiful. Yeah, you could see those lemon trees, and then obviously you go into the town, and there are 5 of these. So if I had to guess, what would Deebo's contract look like? Well, I'm going to say that Deebo Samuel's contract's going to be about $25 million a year. The guaranteed money is what I'm really interested in. Maybe, $60 million guaranteed? I don't know. I think the market's going to be set by whoever goes first, right? Out of A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, and DK Metcalf. They share the same agent, Tory Dandy. Bottom line is, if you're freaking out right now, then you just aren't paying attention to history. This is a negotiation. Negotiations can be acrimonious. George Kittle's was. The 49ers have set positional records at, tight end, quarterback, left tackle, fullback, linebacker, all these positions. The 49ers are giving out positional record contracts. So the idea they wouldn't take care of Deebo Samuel seems preposterous to me. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But obviously, it's going to take some time to find some middle ground, as we know right now, and we'll see if more middle ground is found. Just got a $5 tip for a drink. I would appreciate more tips. That'd be nice. We can maybe get dinner out here. Still bringing you the 49ers updates from Italy. All right, everybody subscribe. Take care. This is Vernazza, Cinque Terre. Hopefully you enjoyed a little Deebo Samuel talk from a spot where nobody's ever talked about Deebo Samuel before. Take care, guys.